The message arrived at 2:13 a.m. No name, no number I recognized, just 12 words that split my chest open without a sound. She's not working late, she's with him. Check the Hyatt, room 608. I stared at the glow of the screen, the way people stare at a coffin lowering into the ground, quiet, paralyzed, waiting for the impact of finality. My wife slept beside me, her breathing steady, almost rehearsed. Her phone lay on the nightstand, screen down, as if it too had something to hide. I didn't move, didn't wake her, didn't ask questions. Instead, I turned the words over in my head again and again, each rotation sharpening them into a blade. The Hyatt, room 608. No anger, not yet, just silence. A silence that pressed so hard into my ribs I could barely breathe. Something inside me broke that night, quietly, without witnesses. And from that moment on, I was no longer her husband. I was the man waiting to watch her world collapse. The days that followed were a blur of controlled routine. Coffee, work, dinners, conversations where my responses came automatically, as if from a script I hadn't written. But my eyes had changed. I saw things I hadn't allowed myself to notice before. The late meetings that stretched into midnight. The scent of cologne that wasn't mine, clinging faintly to her clothes. The way her phone followed her into the bathroom, into the closet, even into the silence of the balcony when she thought I was asleep. Her boss. Of course it was him. The man with the polished smile and the too long handshakes, who always looked at her with the casual ownership of someone who already knew the answer. Denial whispered inside me like a dying voice. Maybe it isn't true. Maybe the message was a lie. But the truth was louder. I had felt it long before. I had just chosen not to bleed from it. Now there was no choice. I began quietly. Precision over passion. Phone records, bank statements. A shadow of surveillance that she never noticed because she never thought I was capable of suspicion. I tracked her overtime and mapped the absences against his calendar. Patterns emerged like bruises beneath pale skin, hidden but undeniable. Then the final move. DNA swabs tucked into the corner of my cheek, into hers when she slept, into our daughter's toothbrush when she was too young to understand. The test came back like a knife slipped under my ribs. My child, not mine, his. The world didn't shatter, it froze, solid, deadly. Every beat of my heart was a hammer striking ice. I smiled through dinners, kissed her cheek at night, played the doting father while my mind replayed a single truth. I had been living in a stranger's script. But I wasn't the only one. That was when I met her, his wife. She called me, calm, direct, no introduction, just 4 words that made the room tilt beneath me. I know about them. We met in a cafe 2 blocks from his office. 2 betrayed shadows sitting across from each other, speaking in low tones like conspirators plotting a quiet war. She was colder than me, sharper. Her rage had already calcified into something precise. She slid a manila envelope across the table. Inside, photos, dates, receipts, hotel check-ins, evidence stacked like corpses. I gave her the DNA results in return. Our eyes met, and in that silence, I realized something. Revenge wasn't a choice. It was the only oxygen left for people like us. That night, I went home and placed the results on the dining table. Nothing else. No explanation, no accusations. When she saw it, her face drained of all color. Her lips trembled, but I said nothing. Silence was heavier than any words. The next morning, his wife made her move. She exposed him at the board meeting, projector screen lighting up with photographs of him and my wife in the Hyatt bed. Their executives frozen, jaws locked, reputations collapsing like buildings in slow demolition. My wife was there. She didn't expect it. Didn't expect the walls to close in with such precision. Her phone buzzed with calls she didn't answer. Her eyes searched for me in the crowd. I didn't look back. My silence was her execution. The divorce was clean, ruthless. Paper signed with hands that no longer shook. Assets divided like scalpel cuts through dead flesh. I didn't fight for custody. I didn't fight for her. I walked away with only my silence. And silence, I discovered, is the loudest revenge of all, because it leaves them screaming inside their own minds long after you've stopped listening. The truth didn't kill me, it rebuilt me. And when the ashes settled, she was nothing but a stranger I had once loved enough to destroy. Final line: sometimes the only way to live is to bury the corpse of who you were and never dig it up again.